My name is Paula Williams, and I'm the writer of the American Businesswoman's Politically Incorrect Guide to Bangalore. I know when I'm shopping for books, I like to pick them up and flip through them, so that's what we'll do here in this video. I wrote the book after having returned from Bangalore and talking with a lot of the women that I know that work for companies that have major offices in Bangalore. They know that it would be really good for them to travel there, but they had some misgivings and some questions. So the book is to address all of that. We're looking at the table of contents here. You'll notice there's a lot of material here. There's 82 pages in the book. Almost every page has pictures, so it's an easy read, real easy to go through while you're in an airport lounge or something like that. It's not heavy reading. Anyway, there's a lot of information about the culture and about what to expect when you arrive in Bangalore. This is probably the most important page in the book, this page 12. It's the one-page reference. If you print this out and just check off the things as you do them, like obtaining your passport and your India visa, getting your vaccines, packing, things like that. If you do those, then you stand a pretty good chance of being much more prepared than I was for my trip, and you'll probably really enjoy that. I'm going to skip ahead to some health and wellness information. There's a lot of information here that's available from the CDC and other things, but here's a tip that you wouldn't know unless you'd been there or knew someone that had. A lot of disreputable stores and restaurants refill water bottles so that what you think is bottled water might just be tap water. That's kind of an interesting thing to think about that we really take for granted here in the States. What to wear is another big important issue for me anyway. The typical American business suit with the jacket and the skirt is not really appropriate in India. They don't show a lot of leg in India, but it's okay to show your arms, which is kind of interesting. A little bit different than the American culture. You'll notice a lot of women wearing what we call salwar kameez, which is tunic and the pants, as opposed to the business suit. Even executive women wear these kinds of things in Bangalore. But there's a lot more information that will help you decide depending on the purpose and the function of your trip. Here's a section on what to pack. Most people overpack and they end up lugging a lot of luggage around, which is a burden, obviously, on their trip. You can cut that down to a minimum by bringing some bare essentials that you wouldn't want to be without, but there's a lot of things you could leave home. There's a section here on gifts. I wish I had been better prepared with gifts for my hosts and for people that I was meeting with. I ended up receiving a lot of small gifts from people that I wasn't expecting, and I wasn't really prepared to reciprocate. So that's a section that will help quite a bit. There's also a section on meetings. Some ideas on how to make sure that you're understood by, converting some data into diagrams, preparing your numbers in lakhs and crores rather than in thousands and millions, learning just a few words of Hindi that are fairly common practice in meetings, even though they speak English typically. Section on dining. This is very important as well. Especially if you're there for any length of time, you want to make sure that you're able to find some food that you're going to enjoy. I love South Indian food, so this was no problem for me other than trying to not put on a lot of weight in the process of being there. So just some great information about that. Shopping and after hours activities, things that you will enjoy with your hosts or with the family that you're maybe staying with. You'll undoubtedly get some invitations, and it's good to know some resources of places to go and things to do. Here's a section on useful Hindi words and phrases. Tried to break it down into the time when you would want to be using these. Some general information, some food and shopping information, numbers, relations between people, colors, days of the week, just some easy stuff that will help you. There's a lot of people that speak English in Bangalore, but some of the taxi drivers and merchants and other people that you'll be meeting won't. Indian meth conversion to the rupee, and also the lakhs and crores, which is the numbering system in India. Rather than thousands and millions, they group numbers into lakhs and crores. And that's real helpful to know about holidays and festivals and things like that. This is a big deal because depending on how you plan your trip, you may want to be there for a particular holiday, or you may want to avoid the holidays so that you can get more business done. Some of these holidays really shut down the town, and you'll be enjoying them, but you may be frustrated if you're not able to meet your timetables because of them. So these are holidays for 2009. And it includes also explanation of what happens in some of these holidays so that you'll have a better idea of what's going on. Here we have just some real simple tips on things you can do when you get back to your hotel room every night to make sure that you're prepared for the next day, and things to do when you get home to make sure that you remember the people that you met and are able to leverage what you've learned. And last is our panel of experts. These are the people that helped with the book. They're people who have either done business in India or live in India and work there and have done business with American businesswomen. So they had some great advice and some useful tips, and I'm really privileged that they were able to share their experiences with us. This is the only guide written specifically for American businesswomen traveling to Bangalore that was written by an American businesswoman who's been there. It's not a tourist guide. It's not a business guide for men. It's not an etiquette guide that tries to cover all of Asia and the Middle East and Africa, where you know there are huge differences from one city to the next. It's very specific about Bangalore. It costs about the same as a good meal in a nice restaurant, but just imagine how much more confident you'll feel having read 92 pages of very specific information that was written just for you. I look forward to hearing from you. When you get back from your trip, let me know how it went and what your experience was like.